while there's a lot of talk about the long-run problems of the deficit, they're really long-run. They're not that short-run. So like I said, the debt-to-GDP ratio in the U.S. today is about 75%. The Congressional Budget Office projects that in 10 years it'll be about 77%. So it's going to be pretty flat. Next few years, deficits are down now to about 2.5% of GDP, which is pretty low. So we're not looking at a big increase in the deficit over the next 10 years or so. Beyond that time, then the Congressional Budget Office has deficits and debt increasing more significantly. And the answer to that question, why that's the case, I think one of the great aphorisms about the federal government is the federal government is basically an insurance company with an army. And it's the insurance part that is the costly part for us, because the projections of big increases in deficits 10, 20 years down the road are mostly tied to the healthcare costs, Medicare, Medicaid, and are based on the projection that healthcare costs will continue to rise at the rapid rate we've seen over the last 20, 30 years. That turns out to be the key issue in terms of long-run deficit planning. If healthcare costs do not grow so quickly, and recently there's been a little bit of good news on that front, then deficits will not be a problem, within our lifetime anyway, Mike. So, if that healthcare issues continue to be severe, then that's going to be a constraint on long-term ability of the government to provide various services. But I think the bottom line to draw from this is that I think it was wrong. It was a mistake that with the sequestration, those things, that there were these inefficiencies. There was these steps taken to correct the deficit in the very short run that probably had long-run costs in terms of preparedness, in terms of canceling systems that were midway, and that sort of thing. So I would just conclude by saying that there's nothing in our deficit prospect that should make us distort our defense planning in the near term, and we should be making our decisions based on medium-term considerations, based on what makes the most sense in terms of efficiency for achieving our objectives. There's no reason to be taking draconian steps right now that will have long-run costly implications for our defense posture just for deficit reasons. The deficit is a longer-run issue, and we should be thinking about it in a longer-run context.
Very helpful.